Okay. Ryan, A24 is at it again. The studio / label that brought us such titles as Saint Maud, On the Rocks with Bill Murray, Boys State, The Lighthouse, Midsommar, The Green Knight, which we watched earlier this year and loved, brings us a little Icelandic folktale of sorts.
Maybe.
Lamb.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Well, it's Icelandic and it feels like a folktale, so we're going to call it an Icelandic folktale, and it's called Lamb. Noomi Rapace and her husband don't have any kids. They're sheep farmers, and one day a sheep has a baby.
Yeah,
but it's not like any baby.
No.
But
we don't really
know for a while exactly what makes the baby different.
It's for all intents and purposes, it's a baby lamb.
It is a baby lamb
that for some reason they take extra interest in.
Yep. Bring it in the house, swaddle it up, bottle feed it. And then eventually we learn what is special about Ada, the lamb.
Yeah.
And A24, man. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Lamb? I know these were hard thoughts.
Well, I mean, look, I liked it, and there's no question about it. I liked it, but it's a pretty odd little film.
Yes.
I don't. I have yet to try to really dig in and find. I don't want to say it's meaningless, but it's almost like something you experience.
Yes.
Rather than, and I don't know that I really cared to dissect it or to try to overthink this one. And I'm sure there's somebody, and it may even be the filmmakers, who could tell us, a higher hidden meaning or something to it. But for me, I just kind of enjoyed the strangeness of it and the strength of the performances. And I mean, there's just so many things you factor in there. But I think that, I really enjoyed the performances.
These are very minimal performances. There's not a ton of dialogue. It is a lot of walking and looking, and doing, and then little brief snippets of dialogue. So they're very minimal performances, but they're all really good. I agree. I liked the experience of watching it, just because of, I say novelty, but I mean that in the unique sense, not the kind of throwaway sense.
Yeah.
For novelty, I like that aspect of it. It is hard to articulate why that you like this.
Mean, there are going to be people who hate this.
Oh God, yes. There's no
absolutely. Question. And this is one of those films that I would say that's fine. I kind of get it. Because this isn't necessarily top shelf A24. I mean, it's very A24, but I don't know that it's not on the same level as the Lighthouse or Green Knight.
I hated the Lighthouse though.
Well, okay. Anyway,
I like this more than I like the Lighthouse.
That's understandable too.
So I like the other Lighthouse, but that's a discussion for another time.
But I mean, so, but it's just a unique, weird movie, and I've already started the internal debate if I'd rather have action figures or a plush doll made from this movie.
You don't want a plush Ada?
I think I might. I think, but the thing is you could actually, half of it could be plastic and half of it could be plush.
Oh.
So I could get the action figure and the plush toy all in one.
There you go, A24. Send us whatever merch you have. We want to see it. It's a different if you want to be challenged as a viewer, as a film viewer, I think this is a movie that you might want to make time for, with the understanding that you will be challenged as a viewer with this film, and it might win the challenge.
It might, yeah.
So you might tap out at the end and just go no mas, and wipe your hands of it and just be good. I think it's funny. One of our fellow critics, as soon as the movie was over and the lights came up, said A24 has a type. And it's yes, that is true. A24 has a type, but generally that's okay.
Well, and I think that it's kind of unusual to see this in a movie studio, particularly in contemporary times, where, and it's not 100%. If you really break down a lot of A24 stuff, not everything fits into this little box, but a lot of it does. And so, like I said, the star factor on this, or score out of 10. I mean, it may be a 7, but it's a pretty crazy 7. Like it's a really enjoyable 7. That it's probably, for as bizarre as it is, it's probably as good as we could have ever hoped for. Like I think this might be the best version of this particular idea.
I think the end is the weakest part. But it's still crazy. But it's still crazy, and it fits because because the thing is that through the whole film, I was waiting for that to happen, and it did at the end, and then I was almost disappointed by it. Even though you kind of knew it had to happen at some point. That had to happen. And then it did, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. Science, right? Science.
How is this possible? Oh, well, okay. There we go.
Magic.
Yeah. Well,
the sheepatar. So it's just, it is a challenging film. It is not for a casual movie-going audience.
No, but it does feature one of the best, sort of, when a character says something, it's like, oh, finally someone said something about the situation.
Are we not going to talk about the elephant in the room? Literally in front of the elephant. So it's like, come on. To be fair, it's just crazy, and not like a Nicolas Cage Prisoners of Ghostland crazy.
No. It's almost the other end of it. It's so
right. It's a sedate. It's like that quiet crazy person at the asylum that just kind of sits looking out the window, which we do a lot of in this film. Yeah. And you're just waiting for them to snap and attack the orderly. Nicolas Cage spends, his movies attacking the orderly. And he needs to spend more time waiting. In this movie, we get a lot of waiting to attack the orderly. It is at the other end of the crazy spectrum. But again, you're right. The performances are just really good to watch because you have to watch them. Yeah. This isn't a movie you can listen to. You have to watch everything that's going on.
Well, you'd have to be able to speak Icelandic.
Icelandic, if you didn't want to read the subtitle. So,
but no, it's look, it's weird. I don't think it falls under pretentious. Like there's, I think it's too absurd maybe to be pretentious.
Well, and this is the director's feature debut. So I don't know how pretentious you can be in your feature debut. Yeah. I mean, he's not a novice to the industry. He's done other things.
Yeah,
he has not directed a feature film.
I
said he went for it.
Oh yeah.
Now whether or not he got there is a bit subjective.
I think all things considered, I think
he got the movie he wanted.
Correct. And believe it or not, folks, that's not easy.
Right. It's probably easier on a movie like this than it is on a lot of other movies.
You know, well, and it requires the studio to say, all right, you do that, or whoever's funding it. I think A24 might have came in a little later. That's what's kind of interesting too. Is I don't know that this was an in-house thing because of all the other there was a lot of foreign money in this.
There was, I mean, I know they put it all up front. I almost felt like we were watching the Cannes screener.
Yeah, so
because it's got all the with money from this and all of these different distribution houses and whatnot. And it's a Cannes selection. It's like yes it is. It was a Cannes selection, and so it felt like that's the cut we were watching.
So it is kind of interesting that it is an A24. It's maybe the most A24 of 24, A24, but it didn't necessarily. And I don't know. Maybe they sat out and said, "Well, there's one studio we want to pick this up, and we know exactly how we're going to do it." And, anyway, but. I mean, if you guys liked, The Witch or It Comes at Night or Green Knight or
Saint Maud or Midsommar,
then you probably at least you'll know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, there was a long stretch of the film where I was saying to myself, I don't really know what's going on. Like, I understand emotionally how these people were feeling.
Yep.
I don't know exactly why they're, I don't. It's weird because certain characters they give you actually a lot of backstory, and a secondary character in particular gets. I mean, I can tell you all sorts of things. Like, he used to be a musician, and he kind of screws people over and fails at life, and just anyway. But when it comes to the main characters, be like, well, they're
sheep farmers. They're married.
They're sheep farmers, and they're married, and I don't really understand the dynamic and whatever. I mean, it is kind of strange the way that it's written and how certain characters get more backstory. But
it's hard to recommend.
Well, and
it's not hard to know who to recommend it to.
Well, I mean, I would just say if you're an A24 fan or you're looking for something more absurd, art house absurd, but not absurd in a way that
it's a very sedate absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mean absurd as in unusual, not as in over the top circus clowns.
Yeah, correct.
So we're using a lot of vocabulary in our last couple of reviews, aren't we? We're gonna start publishing a dictionary. But no, it is. Yeah, it's absurd is a good word for it.
But the absurdity is based in real emotion, and so it's absurd in a kind of a classical theatrical sense because it's still grounded in people, like in real emotion, and that might be the weirdest part of the whole film is how unweird the relationships are.
Right. The relationships all make sense. The circumstances are just absurd. So that's where we'll go. That's where we'll leave Lamb. I don't even want to put a rating on it. If you haven't figured out if you're going to see it or not, no number I can give you is going to convince you to go see it.
No, yeah, and to be honest with you, I mean, this is one I did see the trailer for, and I still didn't really, this was a trailer that doesn't really give away as much as a lot of trailers.
No, it gives you the barest of premises, but it is not what the film is about. That's I think the beauty of this trailer. So yeah, it is very hard. Like I said, if you don't know if you want to see it by now, you're never going to know if you're going to want to see it. So yeah.
If you don't know, just go see it. Then don't ask me to.
And then let us know that we ruined your film viewing experience forever by not telling you not to see it. How about that? If we should have warned you not to see it, let us know. How about that? There. So we'll take that into consideration for next time. Speaking of next time, well, the movie I'm going to mention, we've already done the review for, even though we haven't seen it yet, because in the chronology of releases, this comes after Venom, which we're seeing tomorrow. And we will also be seeing The Last Duel. So that will be coming up. There's a couple of little films in there. We do have horror movies, which is great. Let's throw out the teaser for the Halloween season. This year's entry of the Blumhouse stuff on Amazon is coming. So we should be doing 4 Blumhouse movies.
Yeah. So two this coming Friday and 2 the next Friday.
Next Friday. So so we should be doing those. We basically enjoyed all 4 of the ones last year. So go back and listen to those reviews if you would like.
There's also a little Halloween movie called Halloween Kills.
Yes. Yes. We will. You know what? We're not going to, I don't want to spoil it. I want to talk to you offline about that before I see it. So, So there you go. That is Lamb. That is what we have coming up. Go see movies this weekend because there are movies to see and most of them are worth seeing. If you've been listening to us, you know this already. So next week, many more movies are coming and that'll be a good time as well. Till we get back to you with those movies, don't forget to like us, follow us on social media at VS Movie Podcast, and stay safe out there, but have fun and see movies. See movies. So until next time, I am Mark. That's Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
You guys.
And we'll talk to everyone later. Bye-bye.